So, you just got your new OM system camera and you are dying to go out and photograph? Well, here are a few tips for you to get started. Bonjour, Émilie Talpin, OM System Ambassador in the US. Welcome back to my channel. For this video, I want to give you a few tips to just get your first OM system camera out of the box and just go and photograph. I know that the first tip that we usually give people is you need to read your manual, but let's face it, when you have a new camera, you're very excited and you just want to go out. But here is the deal. If you get a new camera, especially if you're not used to the OM system cameras, you might find a lot of different buttons and they might be inverted compared to some of what you are used to with your old cameras. And I just want to give you a few tips and explain a few of those buttons so you can just go out and get started and not be frustrated. The first thing you need to know on your new OM1 camera and on the other model of OM system cameras is that if you press on the OK button, then you don't have to worry about anything because you can do most of the changes that you want to do by just pressing on the OK. So right now, my camera is on and I have a lot of information here. Most of you already know that you are going to change your aperture and your shutter speed here. Mine are inverted. So this is my shutter speed. This is my aperture. I actually made a video to show you how to do this. But right now you just want to go out, so don't worry about it. So that should be your aperture. That should be your shutter speed. And then to change your ISO, you have the ISO button right here. So you just press on the ISO and on your front wheel, and this is how you change the ISO. So you see my ISO is going up and then the other way it's going to go down. Pretty simple. But that OK button is where a lot of other parameters that you will need when you first go out will be. So if you press on OK, and right now I'm on M, manual mode, so I can have control of everything, this is where you will find all the information that you need. So the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO are here. You can also control them right here. And it's a touch screen. So here you can see if you want to control things, you can also move with the arrow, so going up and down. It's pretty nice. You don't even have to touch any button. It's just with the touch screen you can do it. So as I said, those three parameters you can change right here on your camera, but you can also change them with your super control panel. Now, if I go down, a lot of people are telling me, I don't understand, my camera is not doing the focus the way it should be doing the focus. It's focusing where I don't want it to focus. Well, one thing is you need to see how many point of focus you have. Right here, if I press on OK, I can see I have one. Maybe I want more, maybe I want to have all in focus, or I want a large rectangular, or I want a middle rectangular, or I want a cross, or I want a small, or I want an even smaller. It's called a single point. So this is where you can change this. So that will help you if you're having trouble acquiring focus. The second thing that is very important is, do you want a manual focus? Do you want a single focus? Do you want a CAF? So that means that you're going to track your subject. Do you want star EAF because you're going to focus on the stars? Well, that's where you will find it right here. So I'm going to leave it on CAF because I think that I'm going to go into some birding. So I'm going to click on the CAF. And then a lot of people having trouble with this. This is a very important one. I had some people who unbox their camera, they seem to be familiar with everything, but then they tell me, hey, my camera is not taking photo. I don't hear a click. I don't know what I've done, but I know I'm not taking photos. Well, first of all, to check if you are taking photos or not taking photos, you have that little button right here. It's blue. That's a play button. That means that this is how you're reviewing your image. Right here, I have a locus bar, which I took this morning, and then with the arrow, I'm able to go back and look at all the photos that I took. So again, that's that little blue button, the play button. Now, you can see that in this photo, I don't have any information, right? Well, the info button will help you have either just the photo with no information, but if you press on it, then you will see that you will get more information. You can even get your histogram here and analyze it after you are done with your photograph. Info button is really good, so remember it. You will run through different lecture of your photo. Single photo with no information, a little bit more information, and then all the information you want with the histogram. Now, let's go back to the issue of I don't know if my camera is taking photos because I can't hear it. Well, maybe that's because you are in silence mode. So right here you can see I'm taking multiple shots. I have a little heart. The little heart means that your camera will be silent. You can't hear anything. That's great because I don't want to scare the birds. So I'm going to use that if I'm going to go and photograph some wild animals. But if you're photographing a landscape, maybe that's something that you don't want. So you want to make sure that you press on OK and then you move to sequential without the little heart. Okay? And then you have to decide how many shots do you want. Do you want a single shot? Do you want sequential shooting? Do you want SH1, SH2? So that means that you're gonna have a gigantic amount of images, and I'm not getting into the details because we can spend hours on all those settings, but it's just to give you an idea. So if you're photographing landscape, go for that one, but if you're photographing birds, then you want to do the sequential or even go into SH2. Most of the time, just forget about SH1, go directly into SH2. So you can keep on tracking your animal and do all the adjustment that needs to be done. So that's SH2. And then I've also seen people who are taking photos and they're not understanding why they can't get the focus. They have a 1-point focus, a single point, they're on the flower, but it's not working. Well, what are you on? Are you right here on bird detection? Are you asking your camera to detect bird? To detect cat? To detect people? Maybe you are trying to take a portrait, but it's not working. Or are you trying to detect the face? Like right now, I am filming, I'm using face and eye detection. So you need to make sure that you also, if you are photographing a landscape, you don't need any of those, so you put it off. So those are things that are pretty important that you want to know how to access straight away. Well, this magical OK button gives you access to your super menu where you will be able to change all the things that you need to change. And one thing, you're going out, you're very excited, you got your new camera. Well, are you shooting in RAW or are you shooting in JPEG? You want to make sure that you're changing that right away, right? And it's also right here on your super menu. So make sure that you are changing it the way you want to change it. I shoot mostly in RAW. There's no problem with JPEG. You actually can get some great photos. I do a lot of macro photography. When I focus tag my image, I get a JPEG, and that is what I use. And that's fine. The RAW obviously will give you more information, but you have to do more work at the end, right? So it depends. Maybe you want to start with a JPEG and move to RAW. That's an option. Now, there is another button that's an important button, that little red button. Red means no. That's basically what it means here. Don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. Don't erase your photos directly on your SD card, because you will have a chance to really corrupt your SD card, and then that's not going to be fun. You're going to lose some photos. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but that's usually why we say just don't touch it, because of that risk. Format your photos once you are done with your card. I do that every day. I go out, I take photos, I upload them, I process them, and then I put my card back and I erase all my photos and I format my photos. That's what I do. I format my card. I don't erase. I just reformat my card. So I know I'm starting fresh. Now, there are a lot of buttons on this camera, but those are the most important if you just want to get out, take some photos, and you need to do some changes. Then this is where you will be able to do those changes on the OK button. So to me, the OK button is really the first thing you should explore when you're getting your OM system camera, because you can do a lot of things with just that OK button. And that OK button will also let you see that little clock right here? If I press on OK, it lets me change all those different buttons for different function. So for example, this button right here, I change it for night view when I do macro photography. And this button I change for focus stacking as well. So you have a lot of ways with this camera to make it more personal. If I were to give you this camera right now, you probably wonder what the heck is going on, because my buttons are all different. And that's what it's all about. It is your tool, and you need to make it the way you want to make sure that it fits your need as a photographer. We all have things that make sense to one person, but maybe might not make sense to another person. That's how it is. We are individual, and this camera will allow you to shoot as an individual, as a photographer. You will put your own need on this camera. But for now, if you need to just go out and photograph, well, I hope those few tips were helpful. Let me know in the comments. There are a lot of other great tips that I'm sure we can give, but I didn't want to do a 2-hour video. It's just a quick info for those of you who are getting this camera for the first time, are not familiar with OM system, just want to go and have fun. Then that OK button is the one that you need to know straight away. And I hope this is helpful, because it's very, very simple, but I've noticed when I'm out in the field, when I'm doing workshops, that somehow people are struggling with this. So this is why I decided to make this video. Now, I want to thank you again for all your support. Really appreciate it. If you are not a subscriber, well, it's never too late. You can click on the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell so you know when my videos are coming out. And I hope you have a great weekend taking a lot of fun photos, and I will see you very soon. Au revoir.